Welcome to South Asia Maps, Greater India Maps, educational channel which brings fascinating information of a great ancient civilization south of Karakoram Mountains, north of Kanyakumari, west of Kamarupa in the Assam Valley, and east of Kutch and Kalat in Balochistan and Khyber in Pakhtunkhwa Safedko Mountains in Afghania. This is your presenter J. Reddy, and we are continuing our fascinating journey in the Deccan region of South India, south of Vindhya Satpura Mountains. We are looking at the fascinating history of the Hyderabad region in Deccan. Previously, I discussed about the establishment of the state of Hyderabad by the Nizam after his victory at the Battle of Shaharkhada under the title of Victor of Shaharkhada. Fateh Jung fails at the Battle of Palkade 4 years later. That's the where Islamic imperialism was consolidated in Deccan after Bahmani splinter state and brief Mughal interregnum and Asaf Jah dynasty establishment, Nizamiya dynasty at Aurangabad in Marathwada 1724. Now his son's successor, Nizam Ali Khan. Nizam Ali Khan is the son and successor of Nizam. The subtitle of the talk is Islamic imperialism established by his father in Deccan becomes subservient, subordinate, jihuzuri of British imperialism in subsidiary alliance. This is the life and time of Nizam Ali Khan, who was a very prominent ruler, ruled almost de facto after the death of his father. In 1747, there was a brief interregnum for 3 years, and from 51 to 1804 until his death, and actual ruler from 61 to 1804, nearly 50 years, so on, 61 to 1804, and 10 years before as a de facto ruler. Hyderabad, principality, Subadar of Shah Alam, representative, deputy of Deccan territory, Somar Souls, shifts his allegiance from Shah Alam to Angreji Sarkar, East India Company Bahadur, and becomes Ayn-Wafadar. The Middle Eastern term, Turkish, Persian, Arabic, means a faithful friend. Ayn-Wafadar means the faithful friend, one of the many pretentious titles born or held by the Nizams of Hydrabad here. Nizam Ali Khan, who was the formal monarch of Hyderabad from 1761 to 1804, actually a decade before he was the de facto ruler. The princely state of Hyderabad here, the Nizam Ali Khan here, the Shah Alam II Shiani, who nearly ruled for or reigned of practically no Mughal empire from 60 to 1807 or so, 6, almost same time he passed away. Richard Wellesley, who formalized subsidiary alliance. We look at the third battle of Panipat, the nominal rule of Shah Alam Mughal ruler 1760 to 1806, the Peshwa and Mysore kingdom and Nizam's context in Deccan, intervention by the British East India Company, the Nizam's principal French general supporter Monsieur Raymond, Governor General of East India Company John Shore, and later Richard Wellesley, brother of Arthur Wellesley, who was the Duke of Wellington, victor of the famous Battle of Waterloo in Belgium, that made the British Empire the supreme on the planet Earth. The Richard was the younger brother of Arthur Wellesley, later Duke of Wellington, victor at Waterloo against Napoleon Bonaparte. Subadar, subsidiary alliance pioneered. All these things we today look at it. Essentially, we are looking from 1750 to 1804, the Deccan region, the life and times of the second Nizam, Nizam Ali Khan, who formerly reigned from 1761 to 1804. He was the second son of Asaf Jah. Battle of Panipat was fought in January 1761, and Marathas defeated severely. They limped back in Deccan. They had a mighty empire bordering up to Peshawar, now shrank Chambal, south of Chambal. They found very prominent rise of the Muslim power and fought against Nizam and Hyder Ali and his son Tipu, and British were waiting for their opportunity from Madras presidency as a controllers of Arcot Nawab on the Pala river at Arcot or Carnatic Nawab. Shah Alam was the nominal ruler, reigned nearly round about 60 to 1806, 46 years. Prominent contenders after the Maratha power collapsed. At that time, the ruler of Hyderabad state was Salabat Jang. Salabat Jang was elder brother of Nizam Ali Khan. Nizam has 5 sons: Ghaziuddin Firoz Jang, Nasir Jang, Salabat Jang, Nizam Ali Khan, Basalat Jang. Nazir Jang became the Nizam, and within 3 years he was killed in the Carnatic Wars by the French. Afterwards, Salabat Jang was put on the throne by the French general Bussy, and he supported him for nearly a decade. When Bussy was called, the rule of Salabat Jang collapsed. This happened after Battle of Panipat. Salabat Jang was reluctant ally of Marathas. He was immediately overthrown and replaced by brother took over the power. He was the prominent general and actually counselor of brother, formally replaced him. And because the Maratha power has declined, he fought many battles with Marathas, and the Maratha prominent successor Raghunath Rao, who has an internal quarrel with the Peshwa Madhava Rao, was his supporter. Both were allies each other and fought against Peshwa. Later Raghunath Rao left the field and Madhava Rao was successful. And the Hyder Ali became very prominent, conquered lot of territories of Nizam's territories and Marathas territories, and the Marathas and Nizam and the British combined against Hyder Ali and his son Tipu and defeated him in the third Mysore war or Mysore partition, and the major gainers of the partition were the Nizam. Nizam got lot of territories south of Tungabhadra river, which was originally his territories, later conquered by Hyder Ali and Tipu and were given back to Nizam. And in the partition treaty of 1792, that is Karnataka partition, Marathas got some territory, Dharwar region and so on, Bijapur and Belgavi and Karwar, and British got Baramahal, Salem and Dindigal and Malabar region, that is the Calicut, Ponneri and Malapuram and those areas. After the battle that was fought during Cornwallis time, Governor General. Then John Shore became the Governor General of East India Company, Bahadur, and he followed the interventionist policy, non-intervention. He didn't intervene in the internal struggles of Marathas, Nizam and Hyder Ali or Mysore Vadayari kingdom. At that time, Marathas fought a major battle at Kharda, south of Jamkhandi in the Balghat region, close to Solapur area, and decisively defeated Nizam. Nizam signed a treaty giving lot of territory. So he was so frightened after this battle. When Wellesley came as a Governor General in 1798, he went and formally accepted Subsidary alliance. Subsidary alliance was already formulated originally by French Governor General at Pondicherry, Dupleix, but it was formalized by Richard Wellesley. What it means is British will position their contingent of forces in Nizam's territory and protect the Nizam against external enemies like any external enemy, Bhonsles from Nagpur and Peshwa from Pune and Hyder Ali Tipu from south and anybody, and internal subversion by anybody in the Nizam's territory. Nizam has to pay for the contingent. Contingent will be trained and controlled by the Britishers, and that contingent, controlled forces can be used by the Britishers anywhere in India also, but they have to be paid by the Nizam. In case of the Nizam fails to pay the contingent of the British armed forces, he has to cede the territory. Initially, he ceded the territory called ceded districts Ballari, Kurnool, Kadapa, Anantapur, Chittur. Later, he also ceded bearer territory to British East India Company, that is Buldana, Akola, Washim, Amaravati, Yavatmal, Arwani, Pusar, those areas. And the most prominent feature of Nizam's time is dismemberment of partition, first partition of the Karnataka, the Mysore kingdom, and final partition of Mysore kingdom in 1799, that is 4 years before his death or 5 years. So, and also the major battle of Kharda was fought and subsidiary alliance established. For our purpose here, the Islamic imperialism established by Asaf Jah I became subservient to British imperialism in Madras Presidency by signing the subsidiary alliance by the Nizam Asaf Jah II, that is Nizam Ali Khan. That means Hyderabad Princess State, Subedar of Shah Alam II, Nizam Ali Khan, somersaults, shifts his allegiance from the Mughal Emperor Shah Alam to British East India Company Governor General at Fort William, Bengal Presidency in Calcutta. Shifts the allegiance to Angreji Sarkar from Mughal Sarkar, becomes the close friend Ayn-Wafadar of British. Let's go and see where is Battle of Kharda fought. That is the one that was responsible mainly materializing the treaty. Kharda, this is the Ahmednagar, this is Hyderabad. From Ahmednagar to this area is called Balghat region. Balghat Persian term means elevated regions. Payangat means the lowland region, the coastal plain. Balghat, Ahmednagar, Barsi, Jamkhed. Here you can see the Karda. Karda town or the historic fort of Karda, where the major battle was fought between Marathas, that means the Peshwa, Sindhya, and Holkar, Bhonsle, Gaikwad. All of them participated. That was the major battle. That was last major battle fought by the declining Maratha Empire unitedly. And during the governor generalship of Lord John Shore, who didn't intervene, non-intervenist policy, Nizam got decisively defeated in the Balghat region at Karda, and 3 years later when Wellesley came, he went straight and signed the Subsidary alliance. That was considered to be one of the most humiliating treaties signed by the Nizams of Hyderabad, and Shamsul Umara, who was the principal counselor and wazir of Hyderabad, passed away after a few months signing this treaty. That was the most humiliating treaty signed by the Nizams. And here you can see Nizam Ali Khan. Even though after Asaf Jah one died, Nasir Jang was the Nizam for 3 years, and Muzaffar Jang was a Nizam for a few months, and Muzaffar Jang was the grandson of Nizam, and Salabat Jang was the Nizam for 10 years. But these 3 Nizams' rule were not generally recognized. Asaf Jah too was considered Asaf Jah. He was given the title by Shah Alam II. Asaf Jah was born in 34, died in 83, almost lived for nearly 70 years. That was a very good time. He was the 5th Nizam, but the 2nd Asaf Jah of Hyderabad state in South India, Deccan, from 62 to until his death in 84. He was practically the ruler under his senior brother Salabat Jang. And after Battle of Panipat, he overthrew Salabat Jang and took the control. He was the Fauzdar of Deccan, and after he took over the power, Shah Alam II, the nominal ruler, terminated Salabat Jang's reign and appointed the Nizam Ali Khan as the Asaf Jah II, Subedar of Deccan provinces. So he succeeded Salabat Jang, and he died in Hyderabad and buried in Makkah Masjid, that is opposite to Charminar. He was born in Hyderabad at Chau Mahalla Palace in the outskirts of Hyderabad, and died in Hyderabad itself and buried in Makkah Masjid. He belonged to Asaf Jahi dynasty. His father was Komaruddin Khan, titled Nizam I or Asaf Jah I. He was first allegiance was the Mughal emperor, and later after Subsidary alliance he somersaulted, shifted his allegiance to British East India Company Bahadur at Calcutta and became a subservient ruler of Hyderabad state. Then Hyderabad state was called Hyderabad the princely state, not a kingdom or state anymore. And that is in brief about Nizam Ali Khan II, Asaf Jah II, Subedar of Shah Alam Somersault, 6th allegiance to Angrezi Sarkar becomes Ayn-Wafadar. Hyderabad princely state, Nizam Ali Khan and Shah Alam II, Richard Wellesley, the senior brother of Arthur Wellesley, and many other relevant topics of nearly 50 years of history of Deccan center around Hyderabad we discussed today during our fascinating journey in Deccan, south of Narmada and Tapti rivers in South Asia, south of Karakoram mountains, through South Asia Maps channel by your presenter J. Reddy, and appreciate your feedback and inputs, comments, subscriptions for our fascinating education channel at South Asia. See you later in other presentations.